Well, they barely made it out alive, but Rangers win, baby, 4-3 over the Florida Panthers. Not the prettiest win, especially with the way they played in the third period, but they still get a win, and they did bounce back from that tough road trip. And I did not expect to win this game. I expected a shutout if you saw me on Twitter, but I didn't expect a pretty game either way. But the fact that they grinded out the win here, I guess I'll take it, but they do need to start picking things up soon because it was not the best win. They did not do a good job closing it out, as we saw in the final few minutes of the game, but they still come away with this one, which I would say I can't complain, but there is a lot to be worried about with this team in terms of the way that they played tonight, specifically in the third. The first two periods, I thought that they were really good. That third period, though, was awful. I think this. I'm surprised with the shots, though. 45-18, the Rangers got outshot. I thought the Rangers had way more shots than that on goal, but I guess I'm tripping, and it's just because Spencer Knight had a little bit of a rough night. I didn't mean to say night and night there in the same sentence, but just happened to be that way. But I can't necessarily say it was just his fault, though, however, because the defense did struggle for him a couple times, and they capitalized on opportunities, which is nice to see. But, man, do the Rangers need to start playing a full 60, because they are not going to win hockey games this way. Chris Kreider scores early in this one from Zibanejad and Panarin. A power play goal, believe it or not. I know, crazy. Spencer Knight, I'm pretty sure this is one where he really had no opportunity to save this one. I have it pulled up right now because I honestly don't even remember. I know it wasn't a deflection goal from Kreider, which was shocking on the power play. But yeah, it was a good rebound. That's right. I remember tweeting about how Kreider's really seemed to adjust well to the new Gallant system. And I had a feeling he would either way. So it is really nice to see him adjusting to the system, because some of these guys have not been adjusting too well. But later in the period, towards the end, the Rangers take a penalty. I forgot which penalty this was. I don't even remember. I think it was the penalties. Now I'm honestly forgetting, but I think it was. I have to look at who got penalties this game. I think it was the Rooney one. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was the Rooney penalty, but either way, Rooney or Nemeth take a penalty, and Mika Zibanejad, great play. Barclay Goodrow has three guys on him, does a spinorama, passes it out to Fox. Fox is all alone. He's not missing, and he gets redemption for that goal that got called back, because that one wasn't getting called back there. The Rangers go up 2-0 heading into the second, and that should have gave them so much momentum. However, Florida did start off the second period strong, but then the Rangers quickly turned that around, and DeAndre Miller, holy shit, 4-on-4. I believe that's when it was a 4-on-4. Which, by the way, I'm not complaining, because the Rangers do play better 4-on-4 than on the power play. But why are we calling embellishments? Number one, it was a hold, so there shouldn't have been an embellishment in the first place. Number two, why are we calling embellishments? It should be. I would be saying it the other way. I've had this opinion for a while. Why does embellishment exist when it should be? Was it a tripping or was it not? Why are we having 4-on-4 hockey if it wasn't actually a tripping? It makes no sense to me, but I won't complain here, because Keandre Miller, with a highlight reel goal, drives to the net. As he's falling down, he roofs that on Spencer Knight, and the Rangers go up 3-0. Before that, though, there was a goal from Panarin. Kakko with a great pass from behind the net, and unfortunately that got called back. Kakko, it just sucks. He had the first point of the season on his stick there, and they called goalie interference on that one, which does suck considering I thought Ekblad pushed him in, but it is what it is. And then Kreider gets a apple on that. not too long after, less than a minute, in fact, Ryan Strome scores from Panarin and Trouba. Trouba getting an apple. How about that? I believe this was, what's it called? I don't even remember what I was going to say. This was 4-on-4 also. Forgot to mention that. But you had the three of them go up. Trouba, believe it or not, making a great play in the neutral zone. Finds Panarin. Panarin does not miss Strome. Strome scores. And they played really strong. And then the third period came in. And 20 seconds in, they let up a goal right off the rip. I thought, personally, this goal was goalie interference. Hornquist was literally on top of Shesterkin, punching him and whacking him with his stick and completely blocking the way. But it is a 4-3 game at that point. The Rangers looked awful the entire third period. There were a couple spurts here and there where they did have some good offensive zone pressure, I thought. They just weren't really connecting on the shots. That's how it kind of went this game. They did have a lot of offensive zone pressure, just not enough shots on goal for whatever reason. But they did get some good puck possession going in the offensive zone. It's just a stat sheet does not show it. And then later in the period, we get a heart attack as Sam Reinhart scores a goal. And then Patrick Hornquist a little bit after, and we shit ourselves, but the Rangers hold out because there was a penalty also, which I'm surprised Florida didn't intentionally give it to one of the Ranger players to get him in the box, and then you get an opportunity, I guess because of the fact that they didn't want to have to rely on another faceoff win. But the Rangers battle it out and win. Shesterkin puts the team on his back again. There was a lot to worry about with this game in terms of the third period. But the first two were great. I think the stat sheet really does not justify how well that they played in the first two periods. I actually want to look up the shots per period because for whatever reason, they do not show it on the NHL website. So I have to go to TSN to look up the box score on this one to look at the shots per period because I don't know why they cannot add it to where is it? I don't know why they cannot add it. Here we go. So yeah, it was 11-9 in favor for Florida in the first, 17-6 Florida in the second. The Rangers, that does not show really how well they played in the second period, at least in my opinion. And then 17-3, yeah, the third period was it was really brutal. I thought, like I said, the Rangers had some good puck possession, but they grind out this win either way, and I guess we take it. But they do need to clean a lot up. They're sitting second in the Metro right now. Granted, a lot of teams have games in hand on them. The Flyers, Blue Jackets, Islanders, Devils, and Penguins all have played 3 less games than us. Washington with 1 less, and then Carolina, who's ahead of us, has played 3 less than us. So, in terms of the other stats, face-off percentage, 55-46 for the Rangers, surprisingly. For power play, 1 for 2. 0 for 2 for Florida, but we do get a shorthanded, which was nice to see. 6 PIMs each because of the embellishment canceling off. 26-18 for hits. This game got very physical. Shesterkin was getting pushed around a lot. I'm surprised no one on the Rangers decided to drop the gloves there. 21-8 in favor of the Rangers for block shots, and then giveaways 8-4. Rangers with more giveaways there. But individual performances, Panarin, he had a pretty solid game. There were moments where he was trying to do too much, like we've seen him do a lot. There's times where he's trying to be too fancy, but not too bad of a performance. Lafreniere, that entire third line was silent. I honestly, just to sum up quickly the forward group, instead of just going into individual performances, all I could say is all lines really had a solid performance, in my opinion, except for that third line of who was playing. It was Lafreniere, Gaudreau, Gauthier, that line. That line was pretty quiet. Gauthier did have a couple of chances, but every time Gauthier just drives to the net and he doesn't even throw a shot on. I don't know why, but it is what it is. But that line did not look great at all, and it's very worrisome with Lafreniere. The second line, though, Panarin, Strome, Kako. That line looked great. Kako had a really great night. The stat sheet, obviously, he got robbed of it, and then he also did get robbed of a chance of scoring on night in the third period, I believe it was. But it sucks that he didn't get on the score sheet because he had a really great game. The first line, I don't know if Sammy Blais is the guy to put on that first line, but Kreider and Mika both did well. Kreider's been the best forward all year. And then the fourth line, Hunt, Rooney, Reeves. It's really, honestly, underrated. They don't get enough credit for how well they've been on the forecheck this year. They just don't get enough ice time that they kind of go under the radar with it. Well, tonight they got a pretty good amount of ice time, but the fourth line has looked solid all year when they roll out that configuration of the fourth line. Jacob Trouba, he had a great night, a really great night. He was moving the puck well, making good plays in the neutral zone, throwing hits. And then how about him not shooting one into the 600s tonight? How about that? Patrick Nemeth had an alright night. Fox did, he made a save in the first period. Insane. Just another day at the office for him. Niels had a pretty solid game, didn't get a lot of ice time. Lindgren, pretty good game. Not one of his best games, but this is what it is. And then Keandre Miller, I thought, had probably his best game as a Ranger. Aside from the goal, the plays he was making defensively and the way he was moving the puck. There was one forecheck that I remember him leading. I don't remember which period it was in, but I remember one forecheck that he started up, making some great plays in his own end to start it up. DeAndre had a pretty solid game, and then Igor, I don't have to say a lot about him. He was really great as always. Just 40 saves, not a big deal. 42 to be exact, by the way. But just sucks that he easily could have got the shutout on the night. But it is what it is. Take the win either way, even if it's not the prettiest in terms of the way they closed it out. Or I should say, at least for the way they played in the third period. Because the first and second, good. The third period, yikes. Let's get to Twitter, though. So, we got a lot. NYR Ted says, thoughts on goalie interference call against the Rangers, and do you think it was a goal interference when the Panthers scored when Igor got cross-checked? So, yeah, like I've said before, I think that it could be my bias, but I thought that there was a bit of an argument for the goalie interference call against the Rangers, but in terms of the Panthers goal, come on. The fact that was not goalie interference when you're going to call the one on Strome, like, come on. I think that you should call it on the guy that's literally punching the goalie and sitting on top of the goalie versus the guy that got pushed in by his defenseman and had nowhere to go. But that's just me. Maybe my bias, but that's just my opinion on that. Dwayne Bacon, great Twitter name there. Shout out to you, first time replying, so appreciate that. Why do we play the Panthers like this, but Calgary the way we play them? Calgary just seemed to have our number, and not just that, but Calgary also is not a team to treat lightly. They have been great all year also. They're second in the Western Conference for a reason. They're the fourth team in the league for a reason. They are a really great hockey team. Markstrom's a great goalie, and it is what it is. But, yeah, I wouldn't say, though, necessarily it was a pretty win either way against the Panthers, but again, you're right, at the end of the day we did win. New York Style 24 says they're gonna kill me one day, I swear, but the refs had money on the Panthers. Yeah, the refs were very questionable tonight, that's for sure, but yeah, I had a heart attack too at the end of the game. But they grinded it out, they closed it out, they won, we don't gotta worry. But yeah, the refs were really stupid all night in my opinion, but at least there weren't too many penalties to the point where it changed the whole entire complexion of the game, but they were very questionable tonight. Steven says, or the Rangers a playoff team, and play with anyone, and had some bad losses and some ugly wins. And he sent another, so we'll read that separate. I just didn't know if it was if the question's connected. If it was a two-part question. But for the Rangers, if they're a playoff team, if they could find a way to play a full 60, if they could continue the way that they play in the first and second throughout an entire game, then yeah, there's no reason to believe they can't be. But they need to get something clicking because, and like I said, this is what my belief was before the season. This is still my belief. If Kakko and Lafreniere could break out and be the players that they were drafted to be, there's no reason this team can't make noise and at least make the playoffs. But they also do need Mika and Panarin to step up a bit. They did have great games tonight. Do it consistently. And then Kakko and Lafreniere. Kakko, do it consistently. He had a great game tonight. Lafreniere, though, needs to pick it up. He's my favorite player, like I've mentioned before, but he's got to pick it up. But can't keep getting these ugly wins, that's for sure. Can't keep doing it. You got to play a full 60. If they could start doing that consistently, then yes, but I'm not seeing it enough because there's no way they're going to be able to do this. They can't do what they had to in the past and rely on their goalie to win them a cup, which they didn't even with Lundqvist, but they can't do what they've been doing for the past 15 years. They can't. Steven also asks, what is Keandre Miller's ceiling? I believe first pair stud defenseman. I don't think first pair. I think that bottom four pair, yes. I don't think he's ever going to be a top pair guy. He has looked awful all season. Let's pump the brakes after one great game from him, because this was definitely arguably the best game he's ever played as a Ranger. Well, in his career, I should say, because he's only played with the Rangers. But this was arguably his best game of his career. But let's pump the brakes. He needs to show it consistently, too. And that's another thing. If the Rangers want to make noise, the defense has to be consistent also. They did well in their own end, but they also did... there were moments where they did not look pretty. But tonight was a great night overall. And, well, at least except for the third period. But they came out with the win, so I don't have to freak out, because if they blew this game, oh boy, especially with the last few minutes where it really looked like they were going to lose the game. If they did, I would have probably lost my mind, and this video definitely would have been the most viewed on the channel. But that is going to be it for this one. I hope you guys enjoy. If you did, leave a like, subscribe if you guys are new. And other than that, it's been Python. I'm out. Peace.